Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Creators Outlet. Tonight we're here with Daphne Lage.
Hi. Yeah, Lage is correct. Yes, Lage is correct.
Well, I ain't got that one. I'm like, oh, there's no N there.
Right. No, people think that because it only has 4 letters that it must be complicated. So it's, so it throws people off.
I try to overly complicate stuff because I get confused easily. So welcome to the show. I know we met a couple of times through CromCon.
Yes.
And a little bit more this time because I was on through the entire thing. And what fun it was! I caught up on sleep finally this weekend from the weekend before. So
yeah, like I was saying before, CromCon is pretty intense.
Pops gets all excited.
Yeah.
Puts a little of his favorite spirit in his coffee and kicks off the day.
Well, hey, I mean, but that's what makes the shows fun to be on, because like I said, he knows how to, he just knows how to keep it moving and keep it going and keep it interesting and lively, and it's like his enthusiasm is infectious.
Well, he's been doing them almost a year now.
Right.
Next month will be like 1 year from when he did the very first one.
Yeah.
And Phil and I were busting his chops because the schedule for the first year is written on both sides of a paper plate that's still on his desk.
That's funny.
So I'm like, I go, look, the 1 year anniversary, we have to raffle off the paper plate.
Right. Yeah, of course.
That's going to be a giveaway. You can sign it, send it to Phil. Phil will do a little Pops, logo on it, and we can mail it off to the people.
Right. Yeah, because napkins were too small for the idea, so you needed the paper plate.
Somewhere I actually have Walter Koenig's signature on a napkin.
Oh, there you go.
We didn't get to meet him. My friend and I went with his parents. We were probably 18, 19. We went to a show. We went to one of the old creation shows in Boston. And I actually stepped in his foot.
Oh.
He was just walking around the showroom, probably looking for action figures of himself.
Probably,
and, just seeing what was out there. And I didn't even notice him. And I went to turn around. I stepped on. I go, oh, I'm sorry. And then I realized who he was, and then he got mad when I said, the nuclear vessels are that way.
Oh, no. We were 18,
Got the look, and I'm like...
That's what we do.
But I guess his parents were in the cafe, and himself and a couple other guests were going in to, get coffee and a quick bite. And his mother, nonchalantly walked over and said, hi, it's very nice to meet you. I know you're with your friends. I don't want to bother you. My son and his friend were very excited to be able to come here and meet you. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to, get in the room when you do your talk. And so he's like, a couple of napkins. Here you go.
Oh, that's funny.
And off we went. So somewhere I have a napkin. I have a napkin of Chekhov. So
there you go. At least and also that was back in that was back when it was easy, it was more casual to meet people at conventions rather than now where it's all entourage and security, and you can't get close to the table. You have to pay for a VIP badge.
Conventions went downhill for me as soon as the quote unquote invention of photo ops came in.
No, I have to agree with that. That
came in and went down. Oh, you can't take pictures with your camera phone. I'm like, why? Because you have to pay for that.
I'm
why the paparazzi don't have to pay for it? I go, I'm still gonna go to their table and get an autograph because I want to hang it up on my wall. Hey, I know them,
right? But I mean, it just got really complicated.
It's like, and now they charge you $100 and up to have you open up the camera app on your own phone to take a picture. Well, that way you had the picture. I'm like,
right.
Why don't you take the picture and then you can print it out on a mobile printer right here and just give me the actual photo? That way have it autographed.
Yeah, I mean, there was one convention that we went to, and it was just like kind of like weird seeing people walking around with like VIP badges for William Shatner, and we knew for a fact that those badges were like $700 because you get like like the photo and like a 5-second meet and greet, and and an autograph or something, and it's like people walking around with like almost $1,000 worth of just a photo op around their neck. It's weird. Yeah.
That's crazy. The best place to meet Bill Shatner is upstate New York at the official Star Trek set tour.
Ah.
That started with James Cawley, who is an actual Elvis performer. So everything he does and likes is the 60s. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Everything stopped at 1969. So I made it under the wire because that's what I came about. But he's, I'm a huge Star Trek fan too. So, but they were doing like the fan shows. And at one point he was playing Captain Kirk, and, friends of his on set would make fun of him, calling him Captain Elvis.
Oh no.
Because his real hair is done up like, classic, like early 60s Elvis.
Oh, okay.
Before the king got fat like me.
Wow.
And so that's what he looks like. But they ended up casting somebody else. But my friend and his girlfriend have been helpers on set for like years and years and years. Cool. Yeah. So they've seen the set tour, but when they volunteer and they go up there, they send them to like other parts where the tour, just touches on for like a minute, like like sick bay.
Uh-huh.
You stay here and make sure nobody wanders around and tries to like steal anything.
Oh, right. I could imagine. Yeah.
People taking like the little salt shakers for the.
Yeah, people will. Yeah, they'll latch on to anything not nailed down.
But yeah, Cawley is very, very good friends with a whole bunch of people that worked on the original series, and all the living members of the original series have actually been up there. And Shatner goes up there like 2 or 3 times a year.
That's cool.
So you have to pay like a little more,
right? Yeah,
because you're actually getting the set tour from Shatner.
Wow. Okay.
And
yeah,
he's telling stories of yesteryear to to everybody. And
right, but that sounds more interesting though than just a photo op at a convention, because it's like you're getting an entire experience.
Yeah, I'd rather pay like the Shatner experience at the set tour. I think is like $400 or $500.
Right.
I'd rather pay $400 or $500 and get a tour around for all intents and purposes, the real Enterprise.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
By the captain.
Yeah.
And, you have, there's a banquet meal that you sit down. There's only like 20 people allowed in.
Right. So it's a really intimate experience.
Yeah. It's intimate, like a small crowd and everything, And I'm, so I asked him, I go, are there, wheelchair accessible ramps and everything? He's like, oh yeah. I go, oh, good. Now I just have to have somebody make me up the contraption so I can go as Captain Pike.
There you go.
I already have the chair, so and I'd be all set.
Right.
But enough about Star Trek and conventions of yesteryear. Let's talk about your Kickstarter.
Oh, sure. Yes. Thank you.
That's what we're here for. So,
right.
It only makes sense to me.
You're right.
So let's pull this up and take a look at Egoraven.
Thank you.
Ta-da!
Yay!
So I gotta put it on the bigger page because my eyes are that bad.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm the same way too.
I pull it up on the screen for the show, and I'm like, yeah, it's there. I can't tell what it is. I can make out the picture, but I can't I'm
Right. Yeah.
like green and that's black print. Got to go to the other page.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, my desk is horrible. I have like 3 or 4 different types of glasses all over my desk because it's like I need something for something.
Yeah. Well, I'm nearsighted, so
Yeah.
I put my glasses on so I can see the TV to change the programming.
Right. Exactly.
And then I'll pick up like a prose book or a comic book, most likely a comic book, and go to read a book while I'm watching TV. I'm like, damn, I got to take my glasses off. I can't see it.
Yeah.
And then if it's a part of a movie that I already know, and I want to watch that part because it's a favorite part.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, where'd I put my glasses?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because now you need the glasses for far to read the subtitles and stuff.
So, I'm looking for them and they're just sitting there balancing on my knee. While I'm sitting on my recliner. So it's crazy. Yeah. But you had a very low goal on this one.
I wanted to keep it modest. It's like I've done up to 15 Kickstarters already for other books. So I was already like really familiar with the process. And this one was my first solo comic book project. And I pretty much took what I learned on those other Kickstarters and I go, you know what? It's like, I'm doing everything myself. I have everything proofed. I know pretty much what I need to produce this book. So I kept the goal at $500, because it's like, I figure it's like, you know what? It serves a dual purpose. It's like, I know I can at least reach that. And then it's like, once I reach it, I don't have to sweat, because it's like, I mean, it's like if I had left it at if I had started the goal at 1,000, I mean, I probably would have been a nervous wreck all week. So I kept it doable. Just so that I like the whole process of doing a Kickstarter is stressful enough as is. So it's like the idea is just to keep the stress to a minimum as possible, so I can concentrate on the other aspects of running a Kickstarter, as opposed to worried about am I going to reach a goal or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So we just reached at least the first. So yeah, we reached goal, and then we reached the first stretch goal. And let me just, I guess, give like a brief introduction about the book, because I'm kind of like going in cold. I guess we're talking about it cold here. So this is a book that I like I said, my first solo comic book project. It's Egoraven, Heir of the First Unicorn, and it's a fantasy drama created, written, and illustrated by me, Daphne Lage. And it's a multi-issue comic book series in the style of the Chronicles of Narnia and The Witcher. So the first issue that you see here, is 32 pages in full color. And it introduces Egoraven, a half unicorn, half human princess who lives a rather sheltered life in Edenron, a magical valley of elves and unicorns. She is the firstborn of the unicorn king Alaric, and a human woman who through enchantment was turned into a unicorn herself. And although Egoraven is a princess, she's not really accepted by the elves and the unicorns either. So even though it's like she's literally, like heir to this kingdom, and nobody really digs it. so it kind of puts her in like a very weird position. Although, because of generational interbreeding with captured humans, the elves of this valley, specifically of this valley, have all but lost their own magic, and they depend on the unicorns to survive the world that they're in. So as a result, the royal family hope that an arranged marriage between Egoraven and the elf prince Rillian will strengthen the magic bond between them and the unicorns. But Prince Rillian has a whole other plan it's set in motion when he conspires with the Dragon Lords to overthrow his own ruling family so that he can gain direct control of the valley himself, but he kind of learns the hard way that dragons don't share. And as a result of this coup, I guess, Egoraven and her unicorn uncle Amadeo, they're exiled into the world of men where they've never been before, and now they have to learn to survive in the human world in order to like work their way back into somehow winning back their kingdom from the dragons. So that's pretty much the gist of the story that I have going on here. So this is the first issue. The series is complete. Not physically though, like the scripting. The script is complete. I have the first 5 issues actually complete, and I'm hoping that it will be no more than 15 issues total. So there is an actual ending to the story.
So you have to go through the stress of Kickstarter 14 more times before the story
Yeah,
starts.
I know. What a drag, right? It's like that's the hard part.
Or maybe 15 because you might want to wrap up with a bonus omnibus of the entire.
Oh no, that's exactly the idea. So what it is like for 2021, I'm going to be offering up issues 1 through 4 as the year goes along. And then I want to start 2022 with a trade paperback of those 4 issues and then continue the series with every 4 issues having a trade. So yeah, there is going to be trades for this series. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big trade hoarder myself.
Yeah.
Because I've been like a huge X-Men fan for a long time. Not so much as of recent,
Well,
when I looked over and go, you're gonna have a sword fighting 22-part crossover in like, what is there now, like 27 different X titles now. I'm like,
yeah, it gets a little unwieldy, I would think.
I'm like, look, I know Disney owns you, but quit milking the cow, would you?
Right.
I'm like, we don't need that many. I go, and we don't need that many Batman books either. And,
right, exactly.
When I was 3 years old, I remember the first time I saw the Adam West Burt Ward Batman on TV, and I was like, wow. And ever since then, but I'm like, yeah, we don't need, never needed more than Batman and Detective in the entire Bat family. The Bat family. You want to do Robin stories? Well, do like they did in the 70s. Make it a backup story.
Right. Yeah. And you see, that's the funny thing, because it's like when I was talking to Pops about this project, he actually kind of brought up the fact that he didn't like the fact that there was an ending to this story. It's like, no, I want it to keep going. And it's like, no, I think it's important for the story to at least have an ending. So that it doesn't feel like it's dragging on. Like I told him that it's like I do plan on doing like side stories, but as their own things and probably as like add-ons or something to the Kickstarters. But there's going to be like the main story and then like these little side things popping up to kind of like flesh out like different stories more. But yeah, that's yeah, but the whole like ongoing, like it just keeps going is kind of like that's no, I'd like it to have like a nice ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could always, because it's like one huge like story arc. So
right, yeah.
I mean, just about a year and a half worth of story. So I'm like, yeah, that's Jeff Johns worthy.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, why not? Because you can always go back, if like another story comes into your head with these characters, a couple of years down the road,
right,
you can bring them back, and now you have a new story to tell.
Right,
Something
exactly.
different.
Yeah, and also I think that it makes it very easy for the reader to like jump on and jump off, like they know like where to jump on and then where to jump off, at the end. It's like there's a beginning for them to jump on, there's an ending for them to jump on. And the fact that it's 15 issues is also like kind of like a doable goal, as opposed to like, well, this goes on indefinitely.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like, just it's kind of like watching a Lord of the Rings movie.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh God, how long is this?
Right. Especially if you're watching the extended version. It's
What
like 9 hours worth of footage.
what other version would you watch? I mean,
Right.
really.
Exactly. No, for real. For real.
I sat here the other week and I watched like the whole Hobbit, like front to back, and I'm like, I go, oh, I miss these movies.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they were so good, and they're epic and they're long and everything, but at least you felt like you got like your $10 or $15 worth when you
Right.
went
Yeah.
in there,
Yeah. Especially, and then it's like there's some movies that you have to see in a theater, and that was one of them.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely one of them.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything recently.
Well, I don't think anybody has really
in a theater, but I was happy that a few years ago a friend of mine came to pick me up at the rehab hospital I was in, and my walking was a little better then, and he took me to a local theater there to go see Logan on the big screen.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah.
So I'm like, Logan is the last movie I saw in a movie theater, and they're like, well, you can still go, I go, yeah, nah.
You're right.
Why not? I go, because I can watch them at home for free.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now it's like a completely different experience.
And I upgraded because somebody gave me a 50-inch TV.
So there you go. Right.
I went from like, a 12-inch, Roku TV, which was fine in my last apartment because the farthest my chair could be from the TV was, I think, maybe 5 feet.
Oh, okay.
I go, okay. I still had to put my glasses on to see the screen.
Well,
but,
yeah. Always.
You gotta go with the flow. But it was fine because it was a tiny little apartment. Now I had this huge loft surrounded by boxes, so I look like a warehouse because my entire life just was in storage at my good friend's house.
Okay. So now you're getting everything back
for like 5 years. So
yeah.
I got all my comics back, my toys, collectibles. My mother passed back in 2012, so I'm unboxing stuff of hers and photo albums, and so I took a trip back to the 70s earlier today. And I'm like,
there you go.
Oh, good times.
Yeah,
and finding stuff with my my grandparents, my great grandparents, and stuff. And finding my daughter's stuff, and she's a teenager now, so everything I do, I say is stupid. So I'm like, okay. I go, bye.
They get to that age, and
Oh, the age where we knew everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we hit around 35 before you go, oh man.
Yeah, no, for real. That's exactly what happens. It's like, what was I thinking?
Like, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. It was,
you were right.
It was a
about
thing.
What? About everything.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. That's exactly how it happens.
I'm like, oh. So I just share this out to like about 15 different comic related.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Thank you.
Rooms, and I want to let my listeners over on ageofradio.org know that if they want to see anything that we're showing off tonight, they can just head over to the Creators Outlet on YouTube and watch the entire video version there.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you.
That whole thing's new. I keep forgetting to say anything. I go, oh, darn. So after we finish this, I will download the audio of this, and it'll be uploaded tonight, and there'll be a link so people can download and listen to the audio all the geeky stuff we talked about.
That's cool. That's cool. Oh, so I guess like for the benefit of the our radio listening audience, then you can also check out. You can also find links to the Kickstarter and a free version of the entire of the first 5 issues of this series in the original black and white line art version that I did first. You can check it out at my main website at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS.com.
And that and many, many other links are in the show notes, either up above or down below, depending on where you're watching us. I shared all the links from your Facebook page that you had.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of them because it's like I have like the Facebook, the Twitter, the YouTube channel, the Instagram.
Yeah.
The usual collection of social media.
Those are all in the show notes, along with the link to the Kickstarter, which of course, as you can see, is also in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
So, which is nice because I share it to the chat here, but wherever people are watching it, the entire thing comes up like an ad, at the top of the chat page. So I'm like, one click. It's a one click and done.
There you go.
And let us scroll down and take a look. Take it. This is the entire crew,
right? Well, this is the main crew. My babies. So the thing is, so this project was this was a comic book that I was pretty much working on. Well, it was kind of like working / percolating / just trying to get it together for like the past 20 years. I came up with the idea in high school and kind of like started really getting it together when I was in college. And then like as the years went on, it was just like it just built more and more and more until it finally got to an iteration that I go, okay, this is it. This is the story. And like I said, on my website is the original version of it, which is in black and white. And there's 5 issues running right now. And what the Kickstarter is for the kind of like a remastered version of that original version. It's in full color. I redid the lettering. I tweaked the artwork. And pretty much decided it's like, now's the time to just get it out officially, because up until this point, it never had an actual print version. It was just whatever I would put online, once, as I finished it, just whatever's online and that's it. And this is the first time that I decided to like, what, it's time to give this an official release. So at least I got something out of lockdown. Because that's when I really got the idea to really push forward with this, because it's like, I didn't realize like how much time I gained until like everything shut down. And then it's like, okay, I got to do something with this time. And I was like going, you know what, let's learn how to color a comic properly. And that's how I ended up with this. And then I relettered it. And then, it ended up what you see here on the screen. So I have samples of all the pages, so that just to show everybody that this book is done. I don't like doing Kickstarters on unfinished material. I think it's bad luck. So the book is done. It's ready to go. So it's like I had it proofed already. I have my printer proofs, and and I was able to like fix it up and whatnot. So the second the Kickstarter's done, I'm running a 21-day Indiegogo for everybody who prefers that platform, because I know that there are people who it's like, for whatever reason or another, they don't like Kickstarter, but they prefer Indiegogo. So I'm doing that. And then like the second that Indiegogo is finished, I have files ready to go to the printer. So by around like mid-March is when everybody should be expecting their books. because it's like I said, I think it's bad luck to have an unfinished project,
Yeah.
So
Roland Man's like that too. He won't announce a book
yeah,
unless it is like 100% complete.
right, yeah,
And then at that point, the money from the Kickstarter pays to have the book made, along with like all the any goodies that come along with
right,
it,
yeah,
stretch
exactly,
goals,
yeah,
and then there's money to flip towards the next book
hmm,
or the next project.
right,
And
yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like I mean, you would think that more people would understand that. I
Yeah,
guess
it's like, well, here's the concept drawing, and as long as we get all your money,
right,
we might actually make this book. No, 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 no. The script has to be done,
right, yeah, at least,
and you should at least have all the artwork done,
right,
and at least halfway done from the inker and on the way to the colorist.
hmm.
And if it's Phil, you better start like 6 months early, because
Well,
he's
hey,
he's all backed up now because he finally got his computer working again. So
yeah, no, I just purchased a new computer myself. I won't get it till the end of the month, but I'm very excited about it. Because it'll definitely improve my what do they call it, my process, my flow process, or whatever.
the workflow.
The workflow, that's it.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, what's that called?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I work for myself. I don't have deadlines.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but that's also kind of like a tricky thing to maneuver too, because it's like, like officially, I technically I don't have deadlines, but I do have these Kickstarters on my schedule, so I want to make sure that I hit all enough deadlines to make sure that that the next Kickstarter is ready to go. Because like I said, I have the first 5 issues are completely inked, so I just need to color issues 2 to 5, and then I have 6 and 7 that are laid out. So I just need to ink, to pencil and ink those in, and then finish coloring them. But I'm pretty much, I have a good leeway. I mean, I don't want to like blow that leeway that I have, but that's what I have so far. So for anybody who's wondering whether this was going to be a one-hit wonder, because there's some Kickstarters out there, you get that issue 1, maybe you get on issue 2, and then you never hear from them again. And I'm just determined to finish this series. So yeah, you're going to get a complete story.
Yeah, I've got a long box full of indie books like that.
Yeah.
Back from like the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And I mean, I don't care, what anybody says about, what 90s comics are worth. I still love 90s comics.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
80s, late 70s, early 80s for me were like, prime.
Right, yeah.
Because that's what I went from. I just look at the pictures and make up my own story to, well, I guess I'll read the word bubbles.
Oh.
So I know what's really happening.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want to read the narration boxes, because back then it was like reading a prose novel, depending on who was writing the book.
Yeah. That Chris Claremont style, describing everything that's happening in the panel type of thing.
You get like a book from Chris Claremont or Peter David, and like, there's like a 10-page preface before it. I'm like,
right, yeah.
I just want to read the comic.
Yeah.
Even now, like, I'll pick up a book now and it's got like a forward from somebody, I'm like, oh, well, and I'll read like, the first paragraph of the forward. I'm like, yeah, I get the gist. And
right.
I just want to read the book.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're heaping praise on them, and it's well deserved. And
right.
maybe I'll finish reading this page when I'm done with the other 675.
Right, exactly. Yeah. We'll get back. We'll get back to you.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. And what was that? I can't remember what book I was reading, but it had an Alex Ross preface, and he was piling all kinds of praise on the artist whose book it was, and I'm like, yeah, we get it.
Right. Yeah.
He cut you a check to say he was better than you, and
right, or something like that, right?
And we'll go back. Now, you compared the book to
the Chronicles of Narnia and The Witcher.
And for me, I see the old Dungeons
and Dragons
cartoon.
Yeah, no, really. It's like I was so chuffed when I put this piece together, because it's like I was doing one of those like character lineups to kind of get everyone's size relation to it, so that I would be able to keep everything consistent especially for the new issues. And then as a goof, I started putting them together like this, and I just died when I saw that, because it's like, oh my god, that yes, it looks exactly like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
So specifically, what stood out to me as Dungeons and Dragons characters, on the far right, the unicorn in the red dress.
Yeah.
The guy standing next to her reminded me of Eric, the bowman there.
You're right.
I still want a bow that can do that. And the guy kind of like centered with the with the brown tones on.
Right, yeah.
Reminds me of the paladin. And then your princess reminds me kind of the goofy wizard, probably because they're wearing the same colors.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but that's all good. that all works for me.
And I see a little bit of the Rankin Bass last unicorn too.
Yeah, no, it's a huge, it's like it's a huge influence. I mean, it's like in the end, the Chronicles of Narnia and Witcher is more like thematic in terms of the story, but like visually though, it's like, it's the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, it's the Last Unicorn, it's Elf Quest, it's the Dragon Slayer movie. It's a lot of these different influences. I mean, we were speaking about Chris Claremont. He did a book called The Black Dragon that was a huge influence. Let's see, there was another book, what was his name? Mark Smiley, I think. I don't remember. He did a book called Artesia. That was a huge influence. It's like it's a lot more influences than I guess that I'm letting on as a descriptor, but it's like if I really listed everything, that'd be half the description.
Yeah, it'd be like 2 paragraphs.
Right. These are all
this is what I was thinking of when I was making this.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like it's it's a lot going on thematically and everything. So Dungeons. That's exactly the vibe I was trying. I was like, I accidentally got that vibe, and I'm like, good with it.
Of course, the Fox character makes me think of Star Fox from Nintendo. But.
Oh, okay. That I mean, it's I mean, for me, it's Disney's Robin Hood, but that.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably would have struck me if there was a fat bear standing next to him, but.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, no, I don't. Yeah. I don't want to be too on the nose with the. References.
I don't want to get the obligatory Disney cease and desist letter.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, we don't want that either.
So we're going 32 pages in full color.
Yes, 32 pages. Right, and 32 actual comic book pages, not like 15 pages of comic pages and then like everything else is like random pinups and stuff. This is a full story. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to sound like I'm throwing shade at anybody. That's it's just when I just want to make it clear. It's like, yes, you're getting 32 full comic book pages in this book.
Yeah, 32 complete story pages.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, who would freak out at this paneling? And the first person that comes to mind is Brian Silverbacks, because he hates panels.
Oh well, that's I guess to each his own. I guess. I mean, it's like
yeah, he's doing plotting and for his universe now, and strictly doing covers.
Oh, okay.
But he did one in Travis's book, the Cthulhu invades Oz.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Danny Morales from the collective down in Florida wrote like a one-page story in it, and Brian agreed to do the art, and he sent him like 9 panels.
Right.
And Brian freaked out. You got to cut this down, dude. This is way too
right. Yeah, no, a one-page story is very hard to do.
Yeah.
You think that it's not a lot of work, but it's like
it's actually more work because you're like, oh, well, I have to tell this whole story in like one page.
I mean, I just recently did like an 8-page short story for an anthology, and that probably had to be like the hardest layouts I had to do. Because yeah, it's like all of a sudden it's like you're finding yourself in a very limited space, and you still have to make your artwork readable, as storytelling before you even put the lettering down. So so it's tricky. It's tricky. It's like less pages does not mean less time or less anything.
No, it's usually double the time, because you can get a story that'll flow in your mind, and you're like, nope, too long.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Throw that script away, get it, think of another one. And it just, the best thing I can think of for anybody that is going to be doing like, a one-page story or like a short story in an anthology is go to Instagram, look up 3-Panel Crimes, and study all his work, because he does the entire thing in 3 bloody panels.
Right. Yeah. It is definitely a learned skill.
Yeah. And he does like amazing stuff, and he's got like, people just want to do it. So they come in, they offer, it's 3 panels.
Right.
And they, from start to finish, and they get it done. And some of them are, make you think hard, and others are just hilarious.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The first one that I remember was like at the beginning of the pandemic. It was like, first panel was like a box truck driving down the street, and kind of like this shady guy like peeking out. Next panel was the back of the truck open, and the guy was stealing toilet paper.
Oh no.
And the third panel, he was assuming the position at the back of a cop car.
Oh no.
I'm like, ha. Must have been from Florida.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
We have all kinds of praise from.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of kind people who served as like beta readers and reviewers for the book. So I planned for everything for this Kickstarter.
Baby Barbarian, Catch the Craze podcast, EvonComics.com, Shock of War, Mary Bellamy, George Medina, Codename Hunter, Lone Wolf Comics, and the Geek Insider.
Yeah. So these are so these are now the different rewards that you get. I have a PDF only tier, for people who prefer it that way. I mean, me personally, I can't even read on the screen. So for those of you who can do that, I have something for you. And then it's like with every tier, it's like not only do you get like the regular version of the printed book, but you also get the PDF of it. So I have like several different variants as levels. So this is the standard level where it's like you get the print copy of the book along with a PDF. And the thing is though, because we reached the $1,000 goal, everyone who supports the campaign also gets another PDF of a prequel story that I did to this series. So you're actually getting like you're getting a prequel and the story. So you're getting a good amount of story with
Good amount of reading material.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now,
So
is the prequel in black and white or color?
well, the prequel is in black and white. It's an illustrated prose story.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's actually a completely different format to the comic. Yeah, so this is also what I was talking to Pops about, where it's like, like it's like not everything can be a comic, but prose is something that I'm also playing around with as a format. So, and this is one of the first ones that I did, because a picture may be worth 1,000 words, but sometimes writing 1,000 words takes less time than drawing the picture.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you're going to get a lot of reading material with your support.
I bought a book like that and didn't realize it was a book like that. I have still not read that book, but this year I'm sure I will find the time to read that
there
book.
You go.
Because
Sure.
I got all my stuff back now. And it's in an Electra Wolverine book, and it looks like the Sienkiewicz.
Oh, okay, sure.
Electra, and I'm like, oh, and it's in the hardcover, so I bought it.
With the white cover, with I think it's like Electra, but I think that was all painted by Sienkiewicz. But I kind of remember there being a prose story too that's illustrated, but I don't know. It's been a while since I really looked at any mainstream books.
Well, luckily it's right here.
Oh, there you
go. All my books ended up being here. Oh, and my free hardcover of Castle.
Oh, there you go.
Let's see. Is it in this stack? I got like 3 stacks here, so I'm just like, nope, those are art books. That's my Louis Royal collection.
Oh, okay, cool.
I had to have art stuff, so I've got.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's like you need to. It's always good to surround yourself with that, Yeah.
Oh, and an X-Men prose.
Oh, there you go.
And it's a book club collection, so it's like.
Out of curiosity, who's the author? Who's the author?
Stephen A. Roman.
Yes, no, he's a friend of ours.
X-Men: The Chaos Engine.
Yes. Steve is a friend of ours.
Oh, good. I can get it signed now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I guess it's like once we're able to touch people again, it's like we can get that signed for you.
And of course, because I'm a huge Joker fan, I have the hardcover of Azrael's Joker. Here it is. Oh, of course, towards the bottom of the middle stack. Why? Because it's always in the last place.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, this is Electra and Wolverine, the Redeemer.
Okay.
It's not Sienkiewicz though.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was. It's
Oh, you muted out.
Stupid program. Every time I move my chair, they're like, "Whoop, mute." I'm like,
"Oh, right, yeah." The StreamYard can be fussy like that.
The artist is Yoshitaka Amano.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I remember this book. Yeah.
Let me just blow this up because this is just.
Yeah, that's some beautiful stuff. Yeah.
And then you get the a little back cover artwork, and
yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was, I thought it was that, and there's like, splash pages and stuff in there, but then you have
right, yeah.
I'm like, that's a lot of words.
Yeah.
I'll put that down for now.
Yeah.
Let me try. Got it. Yeah, that's a scary sight. So you get the PDF, and I will just call it cover A because that's the regular cover.
Yeah, the regular cover. Yeah.
And of course the prequel.
Yes, and you get the prequel now because we reached that goal. So the second tier that I have, you get the Virgin cover, which is the same cover as it's the same cover, except all it is that there's no logos or anything interfering with the artwork. So you get the version, like the cover A, and then I guess this would be cover B, which is just without the logo, so you can just have the artwork.
Yeah, well, this would be like a set of cover A. So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
you get the trade dress and the Virgin variant. So
yes,
and hard copy. I thought it said hardcover. I'm like,
right? No, we're not at that. Yeah,
I'm like, where's the hardcover?
Yeah, no, we're not at that yet. I mean, I would like to be able to make hardcovers of the trades, but we'll see how those do. Right. So this one, this is the, unfortunately, I forgot to bring my samples, but this one, so this is the silver variant. And what it is that it's the line art of the cover printed on silver foil.
Oh.
Yeah, I should have thought to bring my samples down, but
I thought it was, when I first looked at it, I go, all I thought in the back of my head is like, ooh, a coloring book.
Yeah, no, it's in silver though. It's a really nice silver cover, silver foil cover with the line art on it.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, and then the next one is, I think, my favorite version of the book. It's a hollow foil cover, and it's very shiny. I mean, it's like, I'm completely excited with this version. So you get the regular version, you get the PDF, and you get the hollow foil cover.
So the hollow foil one would be the one front row center on your table at a show.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because the light
to catch all us ADHD kids.
Yeah, exactly.
At the con, be like, ooh, shiny.
Exactly. And the funny thing is that the next tier that I have is called All the Shinies. And what it is that you get the silver foil and you get the hollow cover in one shot. So it's like you get the regular, the silver, and the hollow foil. So you get like everything ish, because there is one more version of one more version that I have for the tier. So this one is the regular cover, and you get like a separate sketch to go with the book. So so if you're the type that likes to collect original artwork, you like blue line sketches, then this would be the tier for you, because so you get like, as you can see in the sample, you get like a blue line sketch of a random character from the comic. And then the last tier that I have is the actual sketch cover variant, and it's the comic with a blank cover that I draw an original color marker piece on the cover of, again, a random character from the comic. So that would be like the last variant of it. So you would get the original, cover, and you get the sketch cover version.
And this is where the workflow will come in handy, because as soon as you get one of those, you need to start on it like right away. Yeah,
exactly. But then also it's like just the sketch variant, the sketch and the sketch cover variant, they're the last ones to ship out because they take longer than everything else. So once like the main books go out, these would go out 2 weeks later because obviously they take a little bit longer. They're hand drawn, so they take a little bit longer to produce. But the way everything's looking, it's like even with the Indiegogo and whatnot, while everyone else will probably get the main books by the middle of March, if you get the sketch cover, most likely you get them at the end of March.
Yeah, so like a couple of, leeway of a couple of weeks to
nothing ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to draw it, and you have to ink it up a little bit,
right?
And then,
exactly. Yeah.
the drying process and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting an original piece of artwork, so there's a little bit more involved with that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got quite a few of those.
And then it's like, so these are the backer rewards, which if you happen to be these particular number of backers, you will also end up with these particular sketches in your order. If you're like, if you're backer 25, you're backer 50. So the only one that's left to claim is backer 100. So I'm at 60 something backers. So we're almost there. Someone gets to get this in their package.
So now I can be assured that Pops has your Kickstarter up in like a little mini screen.
Oh, that's cool.
Waiting to see 99 so he can click on it.
No, definitely, yeah.
He's always bragging. He goes, "Yep, somebody's got a contest. I'm in it."
Right, there you go. Yeah.
Like, yeah, so that's cool because that's something different that I don't see a lot, where it's based on backer as opposed to money raised. So
right, yeah, just a little random something to keep it exciting, I guess.
Yeah, random bonus. It's like, look, if you end up being this number backer, I'm just going to toss this in you.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to toss this in your package for free. So.
Yeah. And this is the PDF that everyone's going to be getting now because we did reach the $1,000 stretch goal. So this is, like I said, this is a prequel. It's prose, it's illustrated, so black and white. But yeah, so I'm still working on making a physical copy of it because I've had some people ask. That one I'm probably not going to have until the second issue Kickstarter. So, it's like I'm still working on format and everything. So I figure when the second issue comes out, this one will be available as a physical copy.
Yeah, that way you can do it as an add-on.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know you read the story already, but if you would like the actual physical copy.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like I said, some people have been asking about it because it's like, the digital files are cool and all, but it's like even, I mean, I'm the one supplying the digital files and I literally can't read them, because it's like, I don't know, there's just something about it being on a screen that I can't focus on it. So it's like, I'm definitely a person who needs a physical copy to look at.
Oh yeah, I prefer for you get the smell of the ink on the page,
yeah, exactly,
and the feel of the paper and everything.
Yeah,
and it's like, look, I want physical copies of everything because I see what certain people are, certain places are doing now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yep, I was right. You need physical copies of stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like you look on your Kindle or something and all of a sudden it's like, I thought I bought this book and it's not here anymore.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Yeah.
I knew I bought a copy of Orwell's 1984. Why isn't it here anymore?
Right. Exactly. And that was one of the books that got pulled. Because it's like there's like some kind of copyright issue, and it's like, but I paid for it. It's not like you guys gave me a refund.
I don't think it was a copyright issue.
Right. Well, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. let's not go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually like I've been seeing like various books that they're like, nope, there's dangerous rhetoric in that book. We can't have that. I'm like, okay. So I add it to a list and I email like a half dozen like used bookstores looking for certain books.
Right, yeah.
Usually it's Star Wars and Star Trek hardcovers. And, but, when a book comes across, I'm like, oh, I read that when I was in high school or middle school. I'm like, oh, they say that's on the list. Okay.
Yeah. So
if you have a copy of this, I'll take that.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, though, again, depending on what state you're in, I mean, that list can get pretty long with stuff that you wouldn't even think would belong on a list. But
Yeah. Well, I'd hate to see California's list.
Yeah. I mean, it still kind of weirds me out that Mark Twain is on that list. So it's like, what?
I know.
It's like, yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the book, but it had to do with it was historical, and it was about a former slave and what he did to help his people escape the tyranny of the South. And of course,
it's on a list.
it's what they did is they didn't pull the book. Well, they pulled the book.
Right.
They pulled the copies and they reprinted it with a preface stating that the story in these pages is not historical. It is all fictional. I hope you enjoy.
Okay.
I'm like,
all right.
Anyhow, back to the program.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So stickers is the next is the next goal that we're reaching. So I think if we hit, I think like 2,000. I think
1,500.
1,500, yeah, because
Amadeo the unicorn.
I have to get my glasses out. It says 1,500.
It probably helps that I'm on a 40-inch screen. So
yeah, I'm on a tiny laptop. So yeah, so so you get the one sticker, you get the Amadeo sticker, and then when we get to 2,000, you get the Rakan Guard sticker, and when you put them together, they fight. They look like they're fighting. So I thought that was fun. Yeah. So that's right. So these and this is where I also show these are the 5 issues that I have ready to go pretty much. So like I said, it's like this isn't a one-hit wonder here. I'm really serious in doing this series.
Daphne's very serious because it's taken her 20 years to get here.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's like it just what's funny is that it's like it took me 20 years to get to this point, but it took the last 3 months for me to finish it. Like for some reason, like this last especially I guess it's like a combination of the lockdown and a whole the whole stress of the whole thing. And it's like and also it's like, meeting you and Pops and, everybody online and just kind of getting a second wind from that. Mm-hmm. And then it's like the last 3 months, I was just banging out that script, just like everything was coming together, at that moment. And it's like that, I mean, that was just, like 20 years worth of work finished in 3 months.
You meet a whole new creative community.
Yeah.
And next thing you have a couple of SNL guys in the back of your head saying, "We're going to."
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's like, I mean, it was just really amazing, to kind of like feel like, wow, it's like, these are these I forgot I had a photo of. So these are all my samples of all the variants of all the different variants. As you can see the silver cover there. You get a glimpse of the hollow foil cover. Because like I said, I was not playing around with this Kickstarter. I wanted to make sure everything was on point before I even hit launch. Yeah, because I didn't want to take any chances.
Did you say lunch?
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
Lunch. Oh, I'm sorry.
Launch, yeah. Yeah. So
yeah.
yes.
So I can actually see like the silver on that
Yeah.
cover now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not a coloring book.
Right. Yeah. You say it definitely doesn't look like one now. Yeah.
Although with issue 15, a coloring book would be really cool.
That, you know what? Why not? You know, I mean, it's like, why not? Just do like 32 pages of, you know, of nice little pinups in there, and send, you know, some crayons, and we're good to go. Sure.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, the small little fat Crayola crayon packs,
Yeah.
and you take pinups from like all 15 issues and just toss them together, and
Right. Yeah.
you know, boom. Because I remember DC did something kind of like that for like 1 month. They released like variants that were the adult coloring book version.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm like, I go, the books were $8.95. I go, I can't put a mark on a book that's, you know, almost $10. Get out of here.
Well, that's how they get you, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like you figure, oh, you know, you'll buy one to keep, and then maybe you'll buy one to color, and then they've got $20 out of you.
Or maybe I'll just buy that version, and you know, I won't color it, and I'll have to like, you know, peel the sticker, because they were still doing the digital sticker things in their book for a little while. I'm like, I don't care if the book's not complete without the sticker. I'm going to peel the sticker back and go online and read the book.
Right.
So I don't mess the cover up. But
there you go.
But yeah, I would recommend, of course, as I always would, get all the covers.
Yeah. No, for the next for issue 2, I'm definitely going to do like a specific tier that has all the covers in it, including the sketch cover. So then that way, in one shot, you want, if you're the collector type, you know, here's the level to get everything.
Yeah, I've known many completists. You know, I'm one, but you know, I dropped it with the, you know, multiple cover things like decades ago.
Uh-huh.
But I've been friends with customers at my local shop, because I used to work there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Dynamite broke them, and they just quit, because it's like, I gotta track down 15 different covers.
Right. Yeah. You know, and it's like, didn't Star Wars do like 100 covers or something? I mean,
yeah, and then they released something else that did even more than that.
right.
And you know, that, and you know, all the Comic-Con dealers, you know, all the big dealers that, you know, pass themselves off as you know, comic stores. And I'm like, you don't even have a brick and mortar, you're not a comic shop.
Right. Yeah. It's not like anybody could just go and,
You know, so they put their name down there, you know, and you get places, you know, like Scorpion and a whole bunch of other ones like that, you know, every month they're getting like, you know, 2 or 3, you know, exclusive short print run, you know, covers. It's like, look, I already know how much, you know, the company charged you.
Right.
I know how much these cost.
Yeah.
And we already know you're going to sell through on this because it's Deadpool.
Right. Exactly.
There's no way that particular book right there costs $75.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you understand some of the prices with Kickstarters and Indiegogos, because you know they are short print runs, and
right.
You know, you're looking at you're not looking at like a publisher that's got, you know, stacks in the bank to, you know, pay all the talent and the printing costs.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you gotta dig out of pocket yourself, and you know, at least with this, all you have to do is pay yourself. So
right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you know, so which allowed that's the thing that allowed me to have like the modest goal. And I've had people comment that it's like, oh, it's like, even your comics are reasonably priced, because it's like, yeah, it's pretty much, I think the first one's like $10, and then it's like $3 for shipping. And I found that kind of weird, because it's like, $10 for a comic is still, a lot of money comparatively. But yeah, it's like, it's like, yeah, this is all, we're going to be printing, I'm going to be printing these books pretty much close to the actual order. So it's not like I'm going to have, yeah, it's not like you're going to have a basement full of them, like with the retailers. So, and the shipping I tried to keep reasonable too, because like, I mean, I've seen some Kickstarters where similar books, I mean, you're spending $30 for the first issue. So it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, $20 for the, 20 to $25 for the book, and like another, $5 to $10 for shipping.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And we're not even talking internationals yet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know some books like Connor Buck,
Mhm.
and he's out in Alaska,
Oh,
and shipping from Alaska to the mainland is like us shipping to Canada.
right. I could imagine. Yeah, because it
For
has to
some
go.
reason. So,
Yeah.
within Alaska, he prints them, local, and either hands them out or ships them out to the towns or whatever there. But stateside, he goes through, and I can't remember the name of the place, but it's a service company down in Florida has a print on demand service.
Okay.
So you can list your book there, and it goes whatever you want to get, and they charge you like a percentage
Right. Okay.
for the listing.
Oh,
So
is it like Glam or something?
yeah, something like that.
It's like, yeah, because they do the printing, and then they have like this separate thing where they could sell the book online or something. I think it might be. Well, I know Kablam does that.
Yeah, I think it is Kablam, because they list the book, so you can buy it, like you can buy the digital download.
Right.
But if you want the physical copy, you click on the next box below, and they ship it out.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure that makes it a lot easier for him, because yeah, I could imagine Alaska is kind of
Yeah. Well, another creator I knew, I talked to before up in Canada, does the same thing, because who wants to pay $25 shipping?
Right. Yeah. That makes it difficult. I mean, that's I guess that's why PDFs are popular. But yeah, the $25 for shipping is yeah, you save it for the big stuff.
It's
You
like,
save that for trades or
yeah, I'm like, I don't want you to ship me. I
right.
just want you to ship this little comic book.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not paying you $25. I know in some of the eastern parts of Canada, there's a company that a trucking company, like a shipping company there, and they go back and forth between
Oh, I think
Canada
chit
and the
chat.
US. Yeah.
Yeah, chit chats. Yeah, I've
And
heard some people use
they
them. Yeah.
they load up their trucks, they drive up with, and everything's all packed up, and they drive over the border, and they go to a New York post office,
Right.
pull up to the dock, and goes, yeah, we need to mail these 3,000 Gemini mailers, thank you very much.
Mhm.
And it's all done, and
Yeah.
they pay a premium to them, so it still costs them, like
Right. Yeah.
70% less than it would to ship regularly.
Oh no. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So let's see.
Uh-huh.
We have $5 for the PDF,
Mhm.
$10 for physical and a PDF.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I tell this on everybody's show the first time. One of the first people that I did interviews, and it wasn't video back then; it was still me typing it out.
Mhm.
Was with Graham Nolan for when he launched the Canoe,
Oh, okay.
and somehow Graham changed this pledged $10 or more to it was still $10, but instead of whatever text you put down here, like Evergreen #1 hard copy, it was like his $10 was just the donation $10.
Oh yeah, I've seen people do that. Yeah, yeah.
He put in $10, buy Grandma beer.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen people do that. That's like, even though there's already like a donate button there already, but I guess it's like that I guess it just makes it easier for people to just donate a certain amount and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it, that cracked me up, and
Yeah.
I go, that's great. I go, I'm going to do a Kickstarter. And he goes, oh, what's your book going to be about? I go, no book. I'm just going to Kickstart for people to buy me beer.
There you go. There you go.
Because, well, I drink Guinness. It's kind of expensive. And $20 or more, we have Evergreen #1, the Virgin Edition. And of course, the PDF comes with everything.
Right. Yeah. So. PDF comes with everything. Yeah. Well, the PDF, and then it's like with all the variant covers, you also get a hard copy of the, I guess, like cover A, as we're calling it.
Yeah. So any variant cover, you get the regular cover with it plus the PDF.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty darn good deal, because you're getting three copies. You're getting the PDF, cover A, and a fancy schmancy one.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you get the prequel PDF too. So now you're getting 2 PDFs.
So now you're getting 4 books. So that's pretty darn good. I think a signature would look good on the silver book, though.
Oh yeah, I would think so too. I just haven't decided, like, should I use a gold pen? Should I use a black pen? Should I use I just haven't decided yet as to how I'm going to do that.
Normally I would say black, except all the line work, of course, is black. So
yeah,
I would probably say gold.
Right. Probably I should just keep it safe and just like sign on the inside, because there are people that also, like, they don't like signatures on the covers, because they want to keep it like pristine. So we'll see what happens. Actually, that could be a question on the survey when I send it out. It's like, do you want me to sign it on the cover or on the inside?
Do you want the modern signature on the cover, or do you want the old school signature on the inside front page?
Oh.
I've discovered many books like that over the years. I actually, speaking of him, hence prior, yes, not Richard, but right. Prior to this, I actually have an X-Men Chris Claremont like that.
Uh-huh.
Store didn't know it. I didn't know it until I took it home, and 2 days later, opened it up through the bag and board to read it, and I'm like, what the? Oh, right,
yeah. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
And then we have the rainbow cover for $30 or more. $40 or more gets you all the shinies.
Yes.
Plus 1 non-shiny.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
45 or more gets you a #1 5.5 by 8.5 sketch edition.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the blue line one?
Yes, that's the blue line one, right? So the sketch it will be like this little card that's separate from the comic.
And then 50 or more.
That's the sketch cover.
You get an actual sketch cover with a sketch.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those prices are pretty dynamite.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, like I said, it's like I've kind of done enough of these to kind of get a feel as to what people like, and like, because like, Kickstarter, and even Indiegogo, it's like it's not walking into your local comic shop and getting a book for $5.95, or whatever they go for now. It's like, this is, these are all specialty items. So the prices kind of reflect that. But like I said, it's like, I didn't want to end up with a $20 comic plus another $10 for shipping. I mean,
if I came down and looked, and the regular versions of the book, if you just had,
right.
not shiny covers, but like regular covers, and I could buy any of those regular covers for $20, or I could get you to draw me a sketch cover for $50.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, well, once you get past $20, the wall is open and money's flying out. So
right. Yeah. So at least, I kind of have options for everybody.
And you're only doing 5 of the sketch cover edition.
Yeah. Or else I'm going to end up spending, a lot longer than 2 weeks doing them.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Yeah, exactly.
I promise you'll all have yours by the end of the year.
Yeah, no, I didn't want
January. Well, 75 people ordered them.
Right, exactly. It's like that's something that, gotta have to consider too, because I don't want people waiting a year for a book they ordered in January. So
yeah, because you have to wait until the books are printed before you can start on the covers. So
right, yeah, but luckily the printer that I have is pretty quick, so I'm not expecting too much of a delay. Like I said, it's like everyone should be getting their books in March as scheduled.
So that, of course, is good news.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, your backdrop is all your characters.
Yes, this is my backdrop is from my other comic. It's where Egoraven is the kind of like a fantasy drama soap opera type of medieval story. Tall Tales is the action adventure, running, jumping, skipping, climbing Mount Doom type of. So depending on what type of fantasy you're into, I have a book for that. So Tall Tales is my funny animal fantasy adventure comic in the style of the Lord of the Rings, and it's a multi-issue epic pretty much, because so far it's the main series is 560 pages, so it's about like 20 issues worth of story about a group of friends and warriors who are on a quest to find the fabled Great Seal of Iberion, which was stolen from their benefactor, and they end up accidentally in the middle of a war between the rats and the trolls. So, like I said, it's currently at my website for free. You can either go to the link at egoworks.com, egoworks.com, and follow the links there, or you can just go directly to it at talltalesonline.com, TAILS.com, and talltalesonline.com, and you can read the story for free. We're currently printing the second story arc. We're currently working on the second story arc right now, but we will be printing the first volume of the first series from the very beginning of the story in November on Kickstarter. So that way, everybody who's been seeing me talk about this book for the past year, we're finally going to have the opportunity to start everybody off at the very beginning of the story. So that the new...
Are you starting with floppies, or are you starting with
no, this one's going to be the trades. This one, it's going to be the trade. It's going to be a trade collecting the first 5 issues, and then we're going to continue with like 5 issues. So yeah, for this series, we're just going to do trades. We're not going to do floppies.
And who's working with you on that?
Now this one, it's me doing the illustrations, and it's written by JD Calderon, who also does the Oswald Chronicles, which is his book about if that one is like an urban fantasy about a mouse who finds out that he's a wizard, and all the adventures that he has with his neighbors, who's a fairy and a troll. So that one, I also have links to that book at my websites too.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah.
No. I already know why.
Yeah, there's a little nepotism going on there.
Maybe a little bit. But in your book, pictured behind you, it just makes me wonder, on like as you're describing it, the first thing that came to my mind was, who the hell would you choose to side with?
Right, yeah.
Rats or trolls?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, kill them both and be done with it, man.
Well, that's what some people are trying to do in this story. Just, it's like, you know what? We're not picking sides. We're just going to try to wipe everybody out.
We want a straight path through. Just kill everything.
Right, pretty much. Yeah, it's like I said, it's that type of story. It's like if Don Bluth and Peter Jackson decided to do a movie together.
I would watch that in a heartbeat.
Ha.
Now, you've been at this since high school, apparently.
Yeah.
So you must have just graduated last year.
Yeah, specifically, I've been self-publishing comics since 1997. So if that gives, so yeah, I definitely have been I've been doing this for a while.
Just a few years.
Just a few years, yeah. 20 years ago was not the 80s. 10 years ago was not the 80s.
Oh. I'm just like,
yeah.
And I have like younger cousins, and like we'll like chat on screen like this, but when I see them, I'm still seeing like the little girls we would see when we were going into church. Yeah. I'm like, don't stay up past your bedtime.
Right, exactly. I mean, what's funny is like I'm at that age where I can't stay past my bedtime anymore either.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I'm like, yeah. I have a PCA that comes in and helps me with everything, and he comes in like 5 days a week. So at least I get breakfast cooked me 5 days a week. The rest of the time, it's yogurt, bananas, and oatmeal.
Right, there you go.
And lots of coffee.
Yeah.
But, so he came in, made breakfast, got my mail, and, talked to me for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And he had to go on to his next client. I finished. Oh, no. I went to a doctor's appointment today. That's what happened after breakfast. See, I can't remember anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, I haven't been able to really remember anything since March. So
yeah, I'm like,
that's it.
I was thinking that was like the day before, and I'm like, no, that was today.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's because I took too many naps. So we got back. I finished this mug of coffee while I was watching TV. Fell asleep. I wake up. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon. I go, I guess I should have lunch or something now.
Right. Yeah.
So get up, have lunch. Took another nap. Woke up about 6:30. I'm like, I should probably stop prepping for the show.
Right. Yeah.
Like, came over, started up the computer, got everything set up, and I'm like, oh, I need coffee. Mm-hmm. And I look at the clock. I go, oh, it's 10 minutes of 8. I better get going.
Right. Yeah.
So from reading your Facebook page, it also said you were a cartoonist. Now, is this what you consider cartooning, which is your animal books, or did you do like comic strips in the past?
Mostly just it's like when I call myself a cartoonist, it's more like a stylistic descriptor. So this I would consider my cartooning. I'm of the like kind of like the school of like not ultra realistic artwork. That there's like yeah, they're just not realistic at all. You know? So I think that Cartoonist kind of fits me better in terms of the style that I prefer, rather than like I can do illustration, but that's not my main style. Um, and then in the end, it's like comic book artist is definitely what I do in terms of this work. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a stylistic preference, cartoonist. So it's like that's the term that I feel more comfortable with.
It's because your images look like 80s cartoony style.
Yeah. It's something like that. Yeah, because like I said, it's like I'm not really into like the more like traditional, like no one's confusing my artwork for Jim Lee. It's like, I mean, so yeah,
Jim
so it's
Lee
like,
still does artwork.
well, at the rate DC is doing, at the rate DC is going, he might have to.
I can see like in a year now he's going to be like knocking on Image's door. Think I can get my old job back?
Right? Yeah, exactly. All of
I
a sudden
think
he's doing Kickstarter.
I think I remember how to do this.
Yeah.
I actually have his autograph somewhere because I bought when he was doing Hush over at DC. They released a special edition Batman figure based on his design.
Right.
Where of course we all know the story that he said the worst thing he ever did was draw the bottom of Batman's combat boots.
Oh, wow.
Because now he and everybody forever on has to draw all the
Right.
tread
Yeah,
on the bottom of the combat
now
boot.
you gotta draw every tread.
You just cost yourself more work, but
Right.
it was there were like 3 figures inside. One was the mock-up that looks kind of like this one.
Uh-huh.
This is a Jack O'Neill from Stargate, though. But it looks like that because it's it was just like a test model one, and then they took the test model one and they added some paint to it so they could see it in color, and then the actual finished one. But it's a variant of the finished one, and of course he signed on the certificate of authenticity inside. Plus he did sketches and signed the sketches, and there's a Batman sketch in every single one of those boxes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm
yeah, but you see, that's why I feel more comfortable with the term cartoonist, because I'm not drawing the treads underneath that boot.
No. You gotta draw the treads.
Right. No.
Thick Sharpie.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoops. What happened?
Exactly.
Light source is over here. It got shaded in.
Exactly.
So you've got quite a full plate this year.
Yeah. I have total of 7 Kickstarters scheduled.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, after 2020, 2021 is go big or go home. I swear that's what it feels like.
Friends of mine have posted, we're not in a new year. 2020 just put a wig on and came back.
Oh yeah. I've heard somebody say it's 2020 season 2.
Yeah. But I said, welcome to 2021, or as I call it, the Book of Revelations.
Right, exactly. It's like we're just waiting for everything to start unfolding. The other shooter drop.
Because I'm up in the north, like you are. So I'm like, if I hear like hail coming down, I'm looking to see if it's like frozen locusts or something.
Oh yeah, I know, right? We're just checking.
So my question is, how do you get 6 Kickstarters in a year? Because I heard you have to be lucky to get in on the pattern. You're lucky if you're like uber lucky if you can launch 4.
Right. Well, so 4 of those Kickstarters is going to be for Egoraven, which is on my Kickstarter account. Mm-hmm. The other 3 is going to be for Tall Tales, which is on JD's account. So that would be pretty much the only way we could be able to do. We could do that many Kickstarters. because technically it's two different people doing them. So
very sneaky.
right, yeah. But it's like I said, we've done 15 Kickstarters already. We're kind of old hat at this. We're all our Kickstarters are fulfilled completely and on time. So yeah, so it's not like we don't know, what to expect. And also in terms of my book, like I said, I'm way ahead. I literally have the 4 books for the year. I just have to color them in and reletter them, and I'm good. So yeah, so it just
they've been waiting around. They've been waiting around to be colored for years.
yeah,
So.
exactly. So yeah, like I said, once I get that new computer at the end of the month, it's like shoo.
You're gonna get it up and running and get a lot of work done.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, yeah, it's a lot of planning, and yeah, but also the work is technically done too. It just needs to be finished. So yeah, so that's the schedule.
That's a pretty hectic schedule,
Yeah.
though.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, no, it's we're yeah, I mean, it's maybe it's a little too enthusiastic maybe, but if we can pull it off, it'll be a big year.
it'll be a huge year. That's
Yeah.
seven,
Because especially with there's no conventions going on or anything, so what else are we doing?
well, if there were conventions, you'd be doing the same thing. You would just be overprinting so you could have books to take to the
Right,
convention
but
and sell.
also if we had conventions, we probably wouldn't be doing so many Kickstarters either. So
you'd probably be doing 4, like two of each, and
yeah, exactly. It's like we would
know.
it would probably be like half the amount, and then we would doing conventions in the meantime. But I don't see conventions really coming back until 2022. So
I know there's one this weekend towards like Kentucky somewhere, just like a small one.
Mhm.
And that's what I think it's going to end up being.
Right, yeah.
I don't think we're going to get the San Diegos or the New York
Right,
Comic
yeah,
Cons
I
back.
don't see that, yeah.
I
Because
see like the old fashioned old school, you know, cons with safety measures taken in.
right, yeah, because because that's the thing. I mean, I think that like places like Walt Disney World has proven that you can have that many people safely, as long as you're actually willing to enforce the protocols to do it. So there's no reason why conventions shouldn't be able to do that. But I think it's more like an insurance company issue, and that's why I don't see anything like really resolving itself until 2022.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think any of the insurance companies are gonna let any of their big
Yeah.
MCU stars appear at any convention.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't see that happening either, so
It's like you're not allowed to gather around the little people.
right. So
But
you know,
I prefer like the old school feel. You get like 3 or 4 vendors in there. You get like 3 or 4 like local artists in there, and it's not overwhelming, and people are more apt to gather in mass around the
right.
artist tables while they're
Oh,
working on
right.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, it's like those shows that used to be in like church basements and like
VFW halls, yeah.
hotel. Yeah, yeah, those were yeah, yeah, it's kind of yeah, weird that those but then again, it's like I'm in New York, so it's like, those shows really don't exist anymore. People prefer the larger shows like New York Comic Con and so
Because they can fit so much in, but none of those big shows like that are really comic conventions anymore.
right, yeah,
They're
exactly.
they're media
Mhm.
conventions. It's like everybody's packing in because
Yeah,
they want to meet the stars of this show, that show,
right.
this movie, that movie, and which I was fine with because I've met plenty of celebrities over the years.
Mhm.
Most of which I only shook their hands and nice to meet you. I enjoy your work and moved
Right.
on.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few whose autographs I've gotten over the years,
Mhm.
and some I'm very glad that I got because they
Right.
sadly since passed on. But
Right.
so I got to meet uh, the Asian actor who was in just about everything ever.
Oh, kind of like that guy in that thing.
Yeah, the guy in that thing.
Right. Probably. Yeah. It's like if you just like we all know his face type of thing. I'm sure
Well, yeah, it's Asian.
Yeah.
He oh god, I wish I could remember his name right now. It's bugging the heck out of me. He played the evil wizard in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I know exactly. Yeah.
And he played that little bit part in Blade Runner.
Right. And he was also the duck in Kung Fu Panda.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was actually in a couple of episodes of Superboy.
Right.
The good version of Superboy, not the other one.
Right.
There's one that's like, how did I watch this?
Well, it's like
because there was only one superhero show on TV.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
All year, it's like, I guess I gotta watch it.
Uh-huh.
And then John Wesley Shipp's Flash came on, and
Right.
Opened up the doors down the road for everything. That and the first X-Men movie. So it's like, yay. And now there's nothing on TV that doesn't come from a comic book. So
right, yeah. It's like you can't get any more mainstream than what we have now.
And everybody's got that one purist friend goes, "Oh, you still collecting?" No, they sold out, man. They sold out to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'll read my old ones over again. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's like, because once grandma is watching The Mandalorian, I guess it loses its appeal to them.
Yeah. Well, when DC put out through, of course, the third party, of course, they put out the Human Target show, probably like 15 years ago, and I was watching it. My mother, I was visiting my mother, and I go, "Oh, can you put on Channel 10?" And she put it on, and what's this? I go, Human Target. He disguises himself and saves people. Kind of like MacGyver, only different. Oh, okay, I'll watch that.
Okay, there you go.
And then she ended up, liking it, and she watched it until it went off the air, and so did I, and I just watched it all over again on my Roku. So I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Yeah. So that's all I do is you pay money for streaming services. For me, outside of Mandalorian, it's just to watch old shows all over again.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Don't you want to check out the new stuff? Nope, that's
really.
what I do with comics.
Yeah.
I already know Fringe is an awesome show, so I just started watching that again.
Right.
But so not a book that you've worked on or you're working on, but can you recommend an indie book for somebody else to read?
Wow. Okay. Well, an indie book. Well, is it like a more mainstream type? Because my collection is pretty eclectic nowadays. I'm kind of in like a foreign comic, French comic, Italian comic kind of thing right now. So, I mean, it's like, well, the obvious answer is one of the obvious answers is that, well, you could always read the Oswald Chronicles by J.D. Calderon. And, let's see, one of my like big books that I like right now. I'm reading Berserk. Which is the manga collections from Dark Horse. I don't know if that counts. I like Meta Barons by Humanoids. Love that book. Let's see, what's a recent let's see. If you're into like werewolves and stuff, Nightwolf by Robert Mutari he has 4 issues out, and he has a trade paperback right now that, well, technically it's a little self-serving because I did do a pinup for him. Right? So
Oh, that's fan art. That doesn't count.
right, yeah, so there's that. Um let's see. I'm waiting. I ordered this book on Indiegogo. I'm waiting for it, but it's so I haven't technically read it yet, but I'm so looking forward to reading this book because Russ Leach is just, he's just a brilliant artist. It's Only Death Can Save Us. I think his book is still in demand right now on Indiegogo. Like I said, it's like I haven't gotten it yet, but look, once you see the artwork and it has like that John Buscema look to it, that Conan, kind of vibe, and and it's just like it's like I can't recommend that book enough. It's
if I pick up anything, and even if it's black and white,
yeah,
and it reminds me of like the old Conan black and white magazine.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
$50. Here you go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like let me see what else. Yeah, like I said, my collection is kind of weird right now. So,
Daphne is currently in her foreign film version of
yes,
of
I
comic
am.
collecting.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And if you really want to look it up, though, I mean, my 2 big favorites right now is the French comic Eagles of Rome, which is done by an artist called Marini, which is funny because he's currently doing a series for DC called Batman, the Dark Prince Charming. So, but it was Eagles of Rome that really got me into his artwork. I mean, it's just that's just amazing stuff. It's like if I'm really big, I was raised on I Claudius, and that series just completely imprinted on me. So I'm just completely attracted to anything that reminds me of that. So it's just like Roman, Roman Empire, type stuff. I just love that, and that's what Eagles of Rome is. And then there's another one. If you're a fan of Black Sad, so Black Sad is another French comic that I'm into. And there's a similar type of book called Solo by Oscar Martin, and I think he used to be a Disney animator, and he does like this Mad Max with furries type of book that is just bonkers. It's like I think there might be an English version. I just don't know who's producing it. But it's just called Solo Cannibal. Yeah, it's like Cannibal World or something like that. Because again, I only have the French version, so I don't know how it translates. But yeah, but it's like if you're into like Mad Max style, like Mad Max style Disney type artwork, that's a book to look for too.
So now I can see why that's a favorite of yours.
Yeah.
Just from seeing all your versions of art, whether it's from Tales
Right.
or Evergreen. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, well I can see why you're attracted to that because it reminds you of you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's so those are some of the weird books that I would recommend at the moment. Yeah, yeah, I'm in my foreign film phase right now.
Well, since you're in your foreign film phase, is there any thought of, or plan to maybe release any of the trades you're planning in other languages?
That would be trippy. That would be nice. But at this moment, it's not. It's literally not something on the table, really. Yeah, it's just something we just haven't gotten to. I mean, we've dabbled with it in the past. I mean, what's funny is that Oswald is being translated in Spanish in Chile. But that's like the closest that we're getting right now. I mean, yeah, I would love to see, you know, a French bande dessinée version of Tall Tales and Egoraven, but yeah, not right now.
Well, I know Andy Belanger, his Kickstarter just finished, and he's doing his book in English, and because he's from Canada, of course, it is being done
Right.
also in French.
Oh, that's cool.
And himself, his lady, and their little girl spent about 6 months in Italy.
Wow. Okay.
Uh, he said he loved it, except he got a little too fat on the food
Well, yeah, you know, yeah,
because
yeah.
he's also pro wrestling too.
Oh, there you go.
So, but because of the time they spent in Italy, he had the connection. So I guess his book is also going to be translated into Italian.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So I'm like,
I mean, yeah, it's like, you know, having something translated is not as easy as running it through Google Translate. So yeah,
no,
it's a big effort. I mean, at one time I was having one of the Tall Tales uh, one of the Tall Tales issues. I was having it, you know, just as an experiment. I was having it translated into Spanish, and it went over really well because it was that we were testing it at San Diego Comic-Con, and it seemed to go really well, but we just never built on it because because having something translated is yeah, it's an effort. It's an effort. It's
oh yeah,
yeah.
beyond maybe when conventions come back and you're not doing like 7 or 8 books a
Right,
year,
yeah, exactly.
you might have the time to do that and explore like an audience in a different part of the
Yeah,
world.
that's true. That's true because it's like if I were to like if there was like if I could translate the books like tomorrow to target a market, it probably the first what I would do is in Spanish and in Portuguese. That those would be the first languages I would go for.
Makes sense.
Uh,
There's a huge Portuguese community out here.
mhm.
I know because even though you can't tell it from my bright, cheery, almost see-through skin color, I am a little bit Portuguese.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, I have a family in Brazil, so at least that way they could read my comics
Yeah.
finally.
Oh, you get them translated and just send
Yeah.
to the family for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
And
so
now you can read what I've been doing for 20 years.
right, exactly. Like they kind of know what I'm doing, but yeah, it's like unless they're having it translated on their end, it's like I haven't specifically done anything, you know, for them to
Hmm.
read. So yeah, so that's the reason why I would choose those two languages so that my relatives can finally read.
Or you make a silent issue where you don't need any words whatsoever.
Right, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
picture book. Ooh.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I have to ask you, since this is the first book you colored,
Mhm.
was there a big learning curve for you? And what platform did you use to color the book?
Well, yeah, it was an interesting it was definitely a learning curve, that's for sure. I predominantly I only use Photoshop. I use Photoshop with a tablet. And the coloring style that I had to do with the comic book was completely different than the coloring style that I was doing normally, which was like what you see in the background. It's like I had like a really elaborate coloring style. And when I started doing the comic and I started researching, you know, actually do how to color a comic, I mean, I realized that you can't spend 2 weeks coloring a page. If I was going to color a comic, I had to come up with as a system that was efficient to get the job done as quickly as possible. Because it's like, yeah, it's like I can't take 6 months or whatever to color a full issue. So I still use Photoshop, but I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I think like the main thing that I learned with coloring a comic is that I don't have to color everything in. My regular style, it's like I'm coloring in every leaf, I'm coloring every little detail in the background, every little thing. You know, it's like if I have like a table with 5 bottles on it, each bottle is colored individually. But when it comes to an actual comic book page, I can't do that. So I learned to kind of use color to separate the characters from the backgrounds by using more monochromes and and more limited color palettes, and and using like a more uniform shading style that takes like the entire panel into consideration as opposed to like each individual character.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely sped up the process for me. But yeah, but there was a learning curve because I mean, I'm still, because the style also is a lot simpler. I mean, what's ironic is like now I'm getting a style that is reminiscent of those 80s cartoons, which I absolutely love, but at the same time I'm not used to it. Because it is simple, and it's like I'm like, oh my god, it needs more detail, it needs more detail. And what I have to get over myself is, no, it doesn't need more detail. I just need enough color information to get the artwork across.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, that's still taking a little bit getting used to.
Of course, with the panda behind you and you saying 80s cartoons,
Yeah.
it brought, out of the back of one of the many voices in the back of my head goes, "Oh, gummy bears."
Right, yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, I hear gummy bears in the back of my head, and then I start thinking of jelly babies from Doctor Who, and
Well,
I'm
but yeah,
like,
but that's the difference. Like like this coloring. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like I'm kind of like using gummy bear coloring now, and it's like it's taking me some time to get used to it. But the funny thing is that for the comic, that simpler style is a lot more effective, especially when those panels in color, they still have to tell your story.
mm-hmm.
You can't have the color getting in the way of the storytelling, which was also another thing I had to get used to as an idea, that it is possible for your coloring to get in the way. So yeah, it required a whole new set of thinking on it.
Thinking is hard,
Yeah.
especially with some, when you're approaching something you've never done before.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I got to hit the reset button again.
Right. Yeah. It took me a while to really like, because even like the tools that I was used to using in Photoshop, I had to use completely different tools.
Mm.
So it's like it was like learning from scratch almost. But the funny thing is that once I got the hang of it, I could see how the process got faster and faster. So that's why I'm not too worried about coloring the next couple of issues, the next several issues, because it's like, okay, I kind of get it now. So it's like I kind of understand what I'm supposed to be doing. So, kind of.
Was the layering tough?
Yeah, I had to really be careful with that because it's like it was a little too easy to kind of, well, it's like, oh, I need a layer for this, I need a layer for that, I need a layer for this. And it's like before you know it, you have like 20 layers. And that was like, and that's like, oh, I can't control anything. So yeah, so now it's like I try to keep it like 6 layers maybe, just at most, just try to really keep it as simple as possible.
It's kind of difficult, but at the same time, because you're digitally coloring, it's like, oh man, I messed up that page.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
And
yeah, because that's the thing. Yeah,
you can start all over. You can just like use the erase palette and
right.
take something completely out.
Right.
And
Yeah. At least that way it's easy to fix, because that's also the reason why I started like tweaking the artwork too while I was, when I was working on it, because because I usually I work traditionally. It's like I work with pen, paper, pencil, you know, technical pens, and then I scan it in. But once I scanned it in and started work coloring on the pages, I realized, like, while I'm here, let me fix a couple of things. And I was able to fix the line art. I mean, I haven't gotten to a point where I'm actually working fully in digital. I don't know if that's something that I see myself actually doing in the future, because I'm just really used to hands-on.
yeah,
But at least digitally it gave me the opportunity to fix things, just to like, oh, this is a little misaligned. Let me fix this here. I could tweak this here, and without having to like go into the actual artwork and put on piles of whiteout on everything.
well,
Yeah.
I need a bucket of whiteout for my
No, for
screen.
real. Yeah, for real.
And
Uh,
it's a little crazy, but
mhm.
I've talked to lots of creators that they uh, they do all their pencils traditionally,
Yeah.
then they scan it in,
Mhm.
and of course, they said it was a learning curve, learning digital inking over regular inking, of course,
Yeah.
but it was a lot. It was once they got it down, it was a lot more simplified because if they went a little too heavy here or
Right.
too light there, it was an easy fix.
Right, yeah, and then it's like you have you have the brushes that imitate certain things and certain
Hmm.
textures. So yeah, you can do a lot digitally. But like I said, it's like I got coloring. Okay, it's like I can do coloring. It's like I'm not confident with pen and ink on a screen yet. So
Yeah, so you know, I prefer. Somebody in a group was asking. An artist was asking, "Do you prefer getting a piece traditionally or digitally?" And I'm like, traditional, because I can go anywhere on the interwebs and download a digital picture.
right, yeah.
I want an actual physical you
Hmm.
know piece of artwork. And
Yeah.
luckily I've gotten probably like 2 dozen pieces over the years, of original stuff. So
Mhm.
luckily one was blue blue line sketch from Joe Sinat that my pal Rusty Gilligan inked a few years ago for a fundraiser. So, and I actually won it. So I'm like,
Right.
I've had that for about 5 years. But yeah, there's nothing like getting original art.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd much rather give money to a creator, if for whatever thing, your IP goes and it becomes like, of course, yours would be animated
Yeah.
because it already is. Um, but if a company wanted to make a cartoon out of something you did or an animated series, I would much rather go and see you at a table and have you do an original sketch
Right.
because I read the book, I like the movie. I'd rather give my money to the creator of the of the source material than somebody who voiced over Angry Panda.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Yeah.
so
Yeah. And also there's a certain inspiration that I get from seeing original art that I have kind of yet, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some really amazing digital art out there, but the thing is though, like, it's so polished that it looks digital. Like,
mhm,
there's just something very digital about it. So it's like, yeah, you got, it's like, yeah, it looks like a painting, but you can tell like something is not quite real about it. But then it's like I mean, there was this it was Florida Comic-Con where I saw Jack Kirby pages in person, up close and personal for like the first time. And I swear to God, I felt something here when I saw those pages. You know, that there was something about seeing this work in person, like seeing the yellowed paper, and you see the whiteout, and you see the rubber cement, and you see, you know, the way the ink lays on the paper. And there was like something visceral I got out of that I don't get from looking at digital art. You know, it's the same thing where it's like if anyone ever comes out to New York, you can actually visit. I don't know about nowadays, but once, you know, all this nonsense is over, you can actually visit Continuity Studios, which is Neil Adams' studio. And it's it's a functioning studio, but it's also run as an art gallery too. So if you go in and, you know, you can literally ask the receptionist to give you a tour. And that's what we did. And to see all these Neil Adams originals, I mean, I had to lie down when I got home after, you know, after seeing that. You know, there's just, you can't beat the experience, you know? So it's like, if there's anything that I can like say that digital artwork doesn't have, it's that it's you know, just seeing up close and personal.
It's lacking the human touch.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's like, yeah, I really can't put my finger on it. It's like it's like there's just something about seeing that original artwork from masters. You know, it's like it's
you know, you can imitate texture, but you can't make it appear.
Something like that. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like the difference between, you know, you see pictures of the Eiffel Tower versus actually being underneath it. You know, like pictures just don't, you just don't get it in a picture. You know, it's like, you know, seeing pictures of, you know, stuff at the Metropolitan Museum or at the Louvre or something, and actually being there and being in front of the painting. You know, it's like there's kind of like an intimacy between you and the artwork. You know, it's like I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen the statue like a billion times.
Right.
And when I was 11, my mother and I traveled to New York, and I cracked up everybody on the bus because I was coming out of the bathroom in the back, was trying to whisper, but, you know, loudly kid whispering.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we there yet? And then I sang the stupid "I Love New York" song.
Right. You know,
walking in front of the bus, and it was full of all, like, you know, it was me, my mother, and a whole bunch of senior citizens because it was around Christmas time, so they were going up to see the lights at Rockefeller and everything.
Yeah.
And but we went to the statue, and I've seen the statue plenty of times. We took the ferry over. Of course, it was torrential downpours.
Oh, right.
So, you know, we were all below decks and, you know, still drenched from head to toe. But we went up, and at that time, because that was late 70s, early 80s, the torch was already long since closed because they were working on that, but the crown was still open. The windows were still broken, but we got up to the crown, and torrential winds started swaying the statue.
Oh, yeah, that's
back and forth.
Yeah.
And the glass at the crown had been like shattered in spots like over the years. So there's like sweeping wind and rain coming in through the windows, and I didn't want to leave, probably because I had a death grip on the railing and I was afraid to move because the statue was moving, you know. And then a few years later, that awful Ghostbusters 2 movie,
Wow.
the statue actually moved.
Well, you know,
Kinda.
hey.
You know, that was the best part of that movie. So,
Mm.
but one last question:
Mhm.
what would you recommend to up and coming creators?
Right. Let's see. I mean, there's so much. I guess like the main thing that I would definitely recommend is don't be afraid to get your work out there. One of the things that I keep seeing is people who they're so paranoid about their first issue being perfect that they keep redoing it. You know, it's like, oh, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, it's not perfect yet. It's not perfect yet. It's not perfect yet. Don't get wrapped up in perfection. I think Dave said that there's a thing that Dave Sim had said where it's like, know what you did wrong and worry about it in the next issue. You know, it's like, because you don't, you know, if you want to do comics, you do have to learn how to keep it moving. And fussing over the first issue is going to be to your detriment, because I've known people who've done like their first issue like 4 times. And it's like, wow, it's like, so you put in the work for 4 issues, but technically you only have 1, you know, as opposed to like having 4 issues. Because it's like, because in the end, you're going to naturally progress. So no matter what you do, your work on issue 1 is going to look different when you hit issue 4 or issue 10, especially. I mean, my issue 1 and my issue 20 are like miles apart, but that's just what it is. And there just comes a point where it's like you have to respect the artist you are at the moment. Do the work. Just do the work. Know what you have to improve on, and then just keep working at it while still working, you know, like while working on your books. I mean, because you're going to improve anyway. So yeah, so finished is better than perfect. And since perfect is impossible anyway, at least you know you can finish. You can't be perfect, but you can definitely finish.
Progression will come over time.
Yeah, it will. It's like, you know, everything that you need to work on will and don't be afraid to work on stuff you're having problems with, because one of the things that I do, like I know that there's a lot of things that I still need to work on, like for me, like backgrounds is a thing for me. So what I do is I make sure that I keep drawing backgrounds, you know, as opposed to people saying, oh, I don't like drawing backgrounds, so I'm not going to draw backgrounds. Like, no, you have to do the opposite. Whatever it is you're afraid of to do in your comic, that's what you have to keep on like putting in your comic so that you keep drawing it. And then there's going to come a point where you're going to realize you're not struggling anymore, or you're not struggling as much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's part of the progression. It's like, really, it's like, don't fear your work. You know, I mean, that's it, you know, that's advice that I keep telling myself to this day still. Don't fear your work, because
Is it working yet?
you know, I get what I can.
A little bit. A little bit. A little bit here and there. I take my own advice, but
Yeah, you know, pretty much. Yeah, but yeah, that would be the main thing. It's like, just really, like, yeah, finished is better than perfect, and don't be afraid of what you need to do.
words to live by
Yeah,
in the comic community.
yeah.
Well, I want to thank you very much for coming out
Oh,
and
thank
hanging out and
you.
talking everything geek under the sun, and a little bit about your own work too.
Yeah, it's sad, right?
Just a little bit. You can get to the Kickstarter for Egoraven, Heir of the First Unicorn, full color, first issue.
Yeah.
right at Kickstarter, and the link is in the chat. It is also in the show notes up above and down below, along with just about every place on the internet that you can find Daphne.
Yeah.
So you follow her at all those places. And until next time, peace, love, and read some comic books.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are definitely